Hey, Ray Del Vecchio here from websiteprofitcourse.com. And today I want to talk about the 7 phases that my clients normally go through. And most of the WordPress websites that I manage are for local home service contractors. So obviously the first step is the website creation. You got to reach an agreement that is good for both of you. That could be a one-time thing or it could be a monthly agreement. You got to get paid, which I normally do 50% up front and then 50% after launch, or I'm sorry, before you launch on the live domain. You got to create the launch schedule. And all of these things are a little bit more complicated in practice when you're dealing with another human. In fact, I think one of the hardest things to do is to get content, especially if they don't have it organized already. At least in my experience with contractors, they may have their pictures on their phone or on their computer, but it can kind of be like pulling teeth to get that from them. And they may also want to organize it in a particular way, but they know it's going to take them a few hours to do that, and they just push that off, procrastinate a little bit. Then you also got to go through the design revisions. Some people don't care at all about the way it looks, and others are going to be really picky with certain aspects. And if you want more details on a lot of this nitty-gritty stuff, check out the description below. I do have Web Design Business Pro tools and training that gives you much more detail on the infrastructure of how I set up my business. That'll help you out as well. Next up, once you have the website launched, this is the Google indexing phase, and this is particularly important if it's a brand new website. Google's got to find it first, and they have to add it to the index, which this can happen naturally. You know, if you create a Facebook page as well, Google will probably find that Facebook page and see the link on there and index it. But you can also do this yourself by setting up your website with Google Search Console and submitting it. And I always tell clients that it's hard to get immediate traffic. You're going to have slick SEO salesmen that lie to them and promise them the dream, guarantee them #1 results. I've never been that way. I can't do that because I know it's not true. I usually pitch a more realistic 3 to 6 month timeline in order to get the first handful of leads through the website. And you want to make sure that the website is search engine friendly so you can have this come to fruition. So I generally spend a lot of time on the homepage to make sure that we optimize everything on there. You can use a WordPress plugin like Yoast SEO to set the page title and meta description for your most important pages. And then if you do set it up with Google Search Console, you can submit a sitemap so they know all the pages that are on your website, and then take the data that you get from Google Search Console to further optimize. So you're going to see what phrases people are searching for and where your site's positioned. Continually update it throughout this first 3 to 6 months to get those results. And even though I give that 3 to 6 month timeline, the other thing that I tell my clients is that most of my clients' results have come on a year-over-year basis. And this is one chart that really clearly shows this. You can see I started dealing with this client back in like 2015, 2016. This chart starts around 2017 and goes through 2021, roughly. And it kind of shows you the slight increase each year, all the way up to 2020. And then the spike that you see in 2020, this was actually a tree service client. So there was a gigantic storm. We had tornado warnings for a couple of days, and actually a few of the towns around us got hit. So this is why you can see this traffic spike that nothing compares to that single month that they had. In fact, that probably kept them busy for the next 3 to 4 months because of that. So we have no control over that, obviously, but I can tell you for sure that this result wouldn't have happened had we not put in the years beforehand. So this is the kind of long-term growth that I generally sell on my clients. And this is why I advise against going from provider to provider, because I have dealt with some clients that pretty much every 9 to 12 months, they're switching website providers. They might even be getting a new domain because they don't know anything about the SEO side. So it can be hard to explain that to a client, but I do my best to be, like I said, realistic and honest as opposed to selling them some guaranteed fantasy that's likely not going to happen. Obviously, once they start getting traffic, they're going to start seeing leads from the website. So this could be phone calls. There's a couple ways that you can track that. And more likely, you might just have a contact form somewhere on the website. So if they start getting emails through the contact form on the website, they're obviously going to know that the website is helping them out. I track all this behind the scenes with Google Analytics, or you can also BCC yourself. I've done this with some of my clients with their permission. Within that form, I normally have an option that asks people how they found us. So I usually pre-fill it with just simple answers like Google, Facebook, referrals, and trucks and signs, which that's a big thing for local contractors. Pretty much all of the big local contractors that you see have strong offline branding, and this does create synergy with the online marketing. But one thing that you'll notice is that when you start to manage a website like this, one of the first terms that you're going to get traffic for is the brand name. People might see a sign while they're taking a walk or driving down the street. If you got an easy to remember name, they're going to Google you, and they're either going to find third-party websites or your own website. So this is another reason why I think it's very important to have a good brand website. You want to make sure that you have the best first impression possible. And the reason for that is because most of people who leave online reviews are angry. They're the people who are the most motivated to take their time to go online and leave a message. And that's why you have to encourage as many positive reviews as possible. So your client, them or their salespeople, they have to make sure that they stay on top of this in order to get online reviews, because it is, you're going to bat probably 1 out of 10 people that's actually going to take the time to do it. Clearly, people who find you online are much more likely to leave an online review. Now, if your client collects email addresses, you can create a system to automatically do this. That's a good upsell. They're going to start getting referrals from these online leads. So that process is going to extend out into the future where, you get a job through your website, and maybe 12 months or 18 months down the road, that person, their neighbor, needs a new roof, or they want bathroom remodeling. They get your name. This is the bread and butter of pretty much every business. In fact, most small businesses fail to find another channel to get leads from besides referrals. Pretty much all small businesses rely on referrals for the first couple of years in business. And if they do good enough work, they can kind of ride on that reputation for many years beyond that. But a lot of them are, spending their marketing money looking for the easy button, something that they're going to pay $300 for and that's going to bring them $200,000 in business a year. And that's not how it works. We're going to talk about that in a second. But it makes a lot of sense to create some kind of referral incentive program where maybe you give somebody a gift card to a local restaurant. If they refer you to someone, they can fill out some type of referral form that you put on the website. And the last step is advertising. So once they start making money and they want to invest more into growing their business, this is the next phase. And it's important to tell them that it's not an easy button. Just like with creating a website and getting organic traffic from Google, this is something that might take time to get to work. A lot of people come into it with a $500 budget and they expect the world, and they spend that first $500 and they might not get a single lead from it, or maybe just one, and they give up on it. But the advantage of the online ads is that you have measurable results between the ad platforms and their reporting, along with the traffic you get through your website. You can see how many people are contacting you. And this always works best when it's an ongoing strategy where you test and you tweak. This is just another way that you can create some recurring income for your own freelancing business while also getting the best for your clients. And if you do it well, you're going to earn that trust from the client where they're going to want to work with you indefinitely. So that's all I got for today. If you enjoyed this video, go check out my website. I got a cheat sheet on there, 15 tools to start your web design business. And that includes most of the technology that I use for my own websites, along with managing client websites. Also, browse through my blog. You'll see other blog posts and videos on there where I dig deeper into some of these other business issues, like how much to charge, setting up your business. Or like I said, if you want the step-by-step training along with all of my business templates, check that out in the description below for the Web Design Business Pro tools and training. And I also have a time tracker spreadsheet. This is how I calculate how much I earn per hour as a WordPress freelancer. You can download that free template from websiteprofitcourse.com/tracker. Last but not least, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and make sure you subscribe to my channel to get all future videos. If you have any input on any of these steps that we talked through today, or maybe you dealt with a client in another niche or something's a little different than my clients that are home service contractors, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. As always, I appreciate that you made it this far, and if you'd like to keep on learning, I'll link up a few videos here.